This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the folks over at Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is the perfect place to get your legal Golden State cannabis products because Ease's partner dispensaries will bring your order right to your door. Don't waste any of your precious summer minutes driving to a dispensary when you don't have to. You can just zip open ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, to find a wide array of legal California marijuana products that are properly tested, labeled, and packaged. You get what you pay for when you order through ease.com. And don't forget, since June is Pride Month, Ease is donating 5% of their proceeds for the month to worthy nonprofit organizations like Out and Equal, which works to promote workplace equality for the LGBTQ+ community. Learn more about their good work over at outandequal.org, with those three words all spelled out, outandequal.org. And as always, you can open up ease.com to get your order for legal California marijuana delivery in, assuming that you live in a part of the state where Ease is active and that it's during legal hours for delivery. Thanks to everyone over at ease.com for the support that makes this show possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, June 27th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 520 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the big news out of Oklahoma that a medical marijuana ballot measure has coasted to a strong win, grabbing just under 57% of all cast votes, according to the still unofficial tally. State Question 788 asked voters if they wanted to enact a medical marijuana system, allowing patients to register after getting recommendations from a physician. One of the big twists on this one is that SQ 788 did not set up a quantified list of qualifying conditions, instead leaving it up to doctors to decide which ailments warrant the use of medical cannabis. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin made a statement after the results were in and said she'd be pressing state lawmakers to pass laws tightening up the medical marijuana system. Congratulations to everyone in Oklahoma who helped make this one happen. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moments nicely wrapped up results of yesterday's primary elections, which saw a couple of prominent pro-marijuana candidates cruise to victory. In Colorado, longtime cannabis industry ally Jared Polis won out in that state's Democratic gubernatorial primary. Polis will face off against Republican candidate Walker Stapleton, who Kyle is reporting is not entirely terrible on cannabis policy, having at least recognized that medical cannabis is actually a thing. The other big cannabis gubernatorial win of the night was in Maryland, where Ben Jealous, former president of the NAACP, won his state's spot to be the Democratic candidate for November's race for governor. Jealous is about as progressive as it gets and is solidly on the books as being in favor of adult use legalization. Open up Kyle's piece for all the rest of the details and other state race results. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Our final top story this fine Wednesday brings us up to my corner of the country here in Maine, where yesterday lawmakers in both the House and Senate voted in favor of comprehensive legislation reforming the state's medical marijuana program. The legislation, if allowed to become law by Governor Paul LePage, would free up medical marijuana caregivers to expand their reach by letting them set up storefront operations, as well as lifting the limit on the number of overall patients they can serve with their 30-plant count. Another huge change is the elimination of qualifying conditions. Instead, doctors would be free to recommend medical cannabis to treat any condition, including opioid use disorder. Maine dispensaries would also be free up to organize themselves as for-profit entities. This is one you really want to read, especially if your world touches the Maine markets at all. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Whether you need flower or concentrates, edibles, or topicals, Ease has you covered. Or maybe you need CBD pet products or pre-rolls or cannabis consuming accessories. Just open up ease.com to find all of those items up for order, just sitting there awaiting your selection. If you like having properly tested, labeled, and packaged top quality legal cannabis products brought right to your door, then you are going to love ease.com. Assuming, of course, that you live in a part of California where they're active and that it's during legal delivery hours. That's because Ease is very strict about following all relevant California cannabis law, which ends up making for a better experience and products for their customers. Take advantage of just how easy Ease makes it to get state legal California cannabis products by opening up ease.com to get your order in. That's ease.com, which is spelled EAZE. All right, time for the Blitz. Yesterday in Massachusetts, the Cannabis Control Commission asked its staff to prioritize processing the applications for state testing labs. Right now, just one adult use license has been issued for cultivation, but in order for any cannabis grown to be sold, it must first be tested, which prompted the commission to clear the way yesterday for the easier passage of testing license applications. Commission Chair Steve Hoffman said that the next time they would meet to consider issuing more licenses would be next week on July 2nd. Keeping our sights to Massachusetts for a headline, we have a good piece by Dan Adams over in the Boston Globe looking at an innovative program that the state is revving up to help boost participation within the legal marijuana industry by people from the communities that have long suffered the most under the government's war on cannabis, mainly people of color and those from low-income areas. The state's new program will offer training to hopeful industry workers and entrepreneurs on things like how to handle the legal and financial needs of a new small business and how to get jobs by nailing your interview. The program is funded with $300,000 in state money and will formally begin training programs later this year. Swinging down to Florida, we have lawyer activist John Morgan saying he's thinking about supporting an effort to put adult use marijuana up as a ballot measure in Florida's 2020 elections. Morgan's past track record in pushing through the state's medical marijuana ballot measure in combination with his enormous bank account makes that good news for the industry, especially when you roll in the overall high approval rating among Florida voters for the idea of adult use legalization. The AP is a good story up looking at the expected rush of business that California state cannabis testing companies are expecting as July 1st turns over into a new era of much stricter testing laws. Allison Edel, also known as Permit Patty, the subject of a now very viral video showing her purportedly on the phone with police calling to report an 8-year-old little black girl for selling water without a permit in front of her home, has resigned as CEO of Treatwell Health, the cannabis company she started and ran selling CBD products for pets. Treatwell has been dropped from dispensaries like hot potatoes all over the cannabis industry in the few short days since the video first went up on Saturday. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment grabbed his second story of the day with a pickup of news out of Jamaica that a prominent government official has strongly come out in favor of adult use legalization, saying that cannabis is a birthright of his island nation. Science, Energy, and Technology Minister Andrew Wheatley issued a press release in which he made strong statements of support for Jamaican marijuana earlier this week about a new partnership with the Jamaican Medical Cannabis Corporation and the National Foundation for the Development of Science and Technology. And finally for today, Out has an excellent and educational longer-form piece up looking at the role that AIDS activists played in pushing for the legalization of medical marijuana. Our industry owes a huge debt to those early pioneering activists, including movement godfather Dennis Perone, who passed away earlier this year at the age of 71. Open this one up. It's important to know your history. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.